Is there a housing bubble? In this episode, I tackle that question. Welcome everyone to the AskJasonGelios Show. I'm Jason Gelios, Michigan Realtor. Really appreciate you guys tuning into this episode. Before we dive into this question about whether or not we're in a housing bubble, I invite you to follow me on social media if you haven't done so already. I have all those links in the description below, and visit my website at it'sallabouttherealestate.com and fill in your information in the pop-up where you can receive this show and other valuable tips in your email once a week. Now, I get asked this question a lot, and it's, are we in a housing bubble? Is this thing gonna burst? Home prices are skyrocketing. You got 20 to 30 offers literally on homes, most of them above asking. Is this going to pop? And so I remember this question years ago, the last recession, right? Where some people felt that we weren't in a bubble. And obviously we know how that turned out. And if you don't, that's something worth looking into. Now, are we currently in a housing bubble? And so I'm gonna share with you my opinion, and then I'm gonna back it up with some facts, okay? Now, many people, including some real estate agents that I know, and it's not a knock on any agent, right? They're just sharing their opinion. But that's where it really stops, is that it's their opinion. And so, you know, many people are saying that we are in a housing bubble, this thing's gonna burst, there's a bunch of foreclosures coming this year, right? Later on this year. It's May 2021, and this eviction moratorium is going to end soon. I think this summer. It's already on an extension, which I'll touch up on this topic later on in this episode. But you know, so I just want to dispel first off that we're not in a housing bubble, okay? It is pretty bold of me to say that, but I back it up with facts. And so when somebody tells you, you know, hey, we are in a housing bubble and things are gonna, you know, crash, and you know, people are gonna lose their homes even more and all this other stuff, ask them, well, okay, where do you get that information? Do you have data that backs that up? Because guess what? There's no data that is stating we're in a housing bubble, and there's no indications or indicators, that are showing that we are headed towards a recession or the housing bubble is going to burst. And you know, now I want to share with you this though, and that there are people, and I've seen it firsthand with the buyers that I represent, where we've gone up against offers, and you have somebody that came in, let's say $40,000 over asking price, okay? Matter of fact, I was speaking with another agent who said that they lost out on a home because somebody came in with $80,000 over asking, okay? Now that is financial suicide in my opinion. Don't do that. If you're buying a house, don't go $80,000 to $100,000 over. That is financial suicide. I don't care if you want to live in that house until you pass, okay? Don't ever do that. That's overboard. With that said, we're not in a housing bubble, because I want to share with you something here. So Lawrence Yun, which is the most quoted chief economist for National Association of Realtors, the average person sees him quoted on major media outlets and pretty much almost every article regarding real estate. And he states that we are not experiencing a housing bubble. It's just simply low inventory. And so let's touch up on that subject there for a minute. So low inventory. If you know a little bit about business or even life in general, or if you're a parent and you've ever had to find that hot toy for your kid, okay, been there, okay, then you will learn that when you don't have a lot of product, all right, which in this case, we're talking about houses, right? If you don't have a lot of product, but you have a boatload of buyers and there's a huge demand, there's more demand for that. If anybody has ever shopped for a PlayStation 5, they know what I'm talking about. There's a shortage of chips or something. Sony's having a hard time making PS5s. right? They're game systems for those of you who don't know that. And so therefore you see them on eBay, you see them on other websites for, hundreds, maybe even $1,000 more. And so that's what's happening in housing right now is there's multiple people looking at houses, placing offers in, even homes that need work. Homes that I would see sit on the market for months are getting multiple offers. And that's because people are wanting to get a home, okay? So there is no housing bubble, okay? There isn't. And if there is and it surprises us, then I'll do another video and I'll say sorry for, but this isn't just my opinion. It's, this doom and gloom that's out there that is being shared by those that have an audience. And again, like I mentioned earlier, some of my colleagues, okay, are even thinking that we're in a housing bubble and that there's going to be a bunch of foreclosures hitting the market this year. There's no evidence that that's going to happen, okay? Now, I want to touch up on this subject about the eviction moratorium, and that's where basically there was a ban that was preventing foreclosures to proceed, renters not having to be evicted, things like that. So okay, here's my opinion and then here's some fact. Now, opinion is I don't think this is going to result in a housing bubble. I don't think it's going to even cause a recession. Most people, even during the pandemic, most people are working and have been working. They've been working from home or a hybrid model. They go in once in a while and they work from home the rest of the time. Okay, now you do have some people that have been struggling, no doubt about that, right? Small business owners have gotten hammered and beaten up through this pandemic, okay? But when you're talking about a larger scale, I don't think it's going to affect, affect the market negatively. You will have maybe some foreclosures hitting the market, but there's no research, and this is the fact part, there's no research stating that we're gonna have a huge flood of foreclosures. There's a lot of opinions out there. There's a lot of people saying, right, to get views that, there's a recession coming. There is no recession. Most people are working, even throughout the pandemic, right? Which I believe we're on the tail end of the pandemic, judging by the restrictions that are being lifted. So this whole talk about, we're in a housing bubble and this and that, there's no facts. There's nothing pointing towards that. The numbers aren't pointing towards that. We just have not that many houses on the market compared to how many buyers. Now, some people are stating that that's going to get better this fall. Again, no numbers pointing that out. Lawrence Young, Chief Economist, National Association of Realtors, most quoted professional in the real estate industry, okay, and mainstream media. When they ask him, what do you think about, housing? Where's the housing going? Okay. He states that we will probably see a huge seller's market until the end of 2021, and then it'll slowly, gradually turn, okay? I personally, in my own area, I am seeing more inventory come on the market. Not a huge amount, nothing to write home about, but some more houses are coming on the market. And so when you hear someone say, we're in a housing bubble, ask them, call them out. Hey, where are you getting that information from? Is that your opinion? Is that because a lot of people are bidding over asking price? Because it's been my experience as a realtor in Michigan that people that are overbidding on homes are going to be in the home for a little while. They're not going to overbid on a home above asking price and then say, okay, I'm gonna move in 3 years, unless something happens with their life. So forget the housing bubble, because there is none, okay? If you're looking to buy a home in this market, just stay at it, stay the course, okay? We're gonna see interest rates going up. I'm gonna be doing a market update video here, so be sure to visit my website, allabouttherealestate.com often. Otherwise, I hope you guys found some relief in this video, because there's no housing bubble. There's no facts. I like facts. You know, when someone says something, okay, well, what are you basing that on? You basing that on facts? Who said there's a housing bubble? So I hope you guys found this episode valuable. Again, I'm Jason Gelios, Michigan Realtor. Be sure to follow me on social media. Visit my website, it's allabouttherealestate.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit subscribe and hit that bell. And if you're watching this on Rumble, I'm a pretty big fan of Rumble just because I have a lot of you watching from Rumble are very kind, and you have shared the video and liked it and commented. So I really appreciate that. And I appreciate everyone who watches the show. So I'm Jason Gelios, Michigan Realtor. Thank you. Thanks everyone for watching this episode of the Ask Jason Gelios Show. Be sure to visit the links in the description below to pick up your copy of my real estate book, Think Like a Realtor. It's a little book about buying and selling residential real estate through the eyes of a realtor. It's real world advice, tips, whether you're a new agent in the business or you are a home buyer or even looking to sell a home. This is great advice. So I really appreciate it if you guys visit those links, pick up your copy, and go ahead and share a review, good or bad, if you like it, if you hate it, okay? But get your copy today. Thank you.